This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 189 of the Dressage Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network, brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products and Equestrian Collections.
This is Reese Koppler-Stanfield from Loxahatchee, Florida.
And this is Philip Parks from Fergus, Ontario, still. And you're listening to the Dressage Radio Show with our producer, Glenn.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Yeah, this is good. Our first show of 2013, right?
I know. And I am in a different location, not my normal home, but we are safely in Florida with all our 7 horses. And I am happy to report today was the first day Denali, my 4-year-old, did not scream his head off the whole work. It's exciting.
They're starting to settle in then, right?
Yes, we've been here a week, and we are starting to get in a routine, and it's been really fun. So it's great to be down here. Not just the weather, but there's lots of stuff going on every night, and it's pretty cool.
Great. So what do we have on today's show? I think you've been talking to people in Florida, and there's lots going on. So
I know. So Lyndon Gray is coming on to tell us all about Dressage4Kids, and also just kind of talk about what she has to offer. And last week was the Dover Horsemanship week, and she's going to tell us a little bit about that. And we also have Rosie Simoes from Illinois. She was a participant in the Horsemanship week, and Rosie is great, and I think we'll all enjoy kind of hearing what it was like to be at that sort of clinic all week.
Yeah, the clinic sounds really fun. They have a lot of top trainers and top people educating the youth, and it sounds great. So I can't wait to hear all about it.
I know. And guess what I did today, Philip?
I have no idea. I can't even guess.
I gotta stand. No, but I had a lesson. It was great. I went to Kathy Connolly, who's been my trainer for several years, and she's been on the show before. And I had a lesson, and it was awesome.
It's not supposed to go good, like your first lesson in
my mare was really good.
They're supposed to kick your butt and tell you how crap you are.
Actually, my mare was perfect. Yeah, my mare was so good.
That's how mine always went.
Yeah. Well, we had some position things. I mean, it's always hard, especially right now. I ride my wonderful mare that's 4th level, but then the rest of the horses that I ride are all babies, so it is hard. You really have to work on your position, and that was great. I got fussed out about my position, which was good, and then my mare's starting to do all the pirouettes and the changes, and so that was fun. So I had a good day today.
If you had a really fun lesson, I'm coming down and I'm going to kick your butt then.
I know. Philip is tough. I know. Philip is tough. You bring your boots and you can ride the baby that screams the whole time.
That sounds like fun too, actually. Mm-hmm. All right, we're working on that.
So, Philip, what's in the news this week?
Well, let's see. Charlotte Dujardin and Vallegro have retaken their top spot in the world in the FEI World Dressage Rankings. That was just recently released. Parseval is 2nd. Damon Hill, I think he made a jump up to 3rd. And all the rest of the characters fill out the top 10. So, that's interesting just to see how the shows are going and how the rankings change here and there a little bit. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it was no surprise, right? I mean,
no. And I love Charlotte. Oh my God. I love to watch any video that she does online. I'm on it. She's great. So
you're a super fan then.
I am. I love her. We'll have to get her on the show. I'll be starstruck.
Oh no! Then you won't be able to interview her, and it'll be left to me, and then I'll be like, Reese, what's going on? What else is in the news?
So the lineup for the Masters came out, and that's the World Dressage Masters. If anybody wants to come to sunny Florida and see the Masters, it's a wonderful, wonderful show. So Stefan Peters is going to ride Legolas. We also have Adrian Lyle and Wizard. We have Tina Cognac. These are all the guys that rode at the Olympics for our team, which is fabulous. And who else do we have here? Goodness.
Heather Blitz and Paragon.
Yes.
The horse that is such an exciting horse, and I think I'm a super fan maybe of Paragon.
Yeah. I'm going to stalk her here. No kidding. I'm going to watch that horse every weekend.
He's so spectacular. That's great. James Cofford and Rhett will be another top American rider. We have some European riders. and a couple of Canadians, David Marcus,
I
riding
know.
Everest Capital, and Jackie Brooks riding De Niro. So that's a couple of our Olympic riders going to show. So, I think we'll have lots of Americans and lots of Canadians cheering them along.
Yeah.
And it's a great show. Lots of prize money and really pulls in the best riders that is available. So that's great.
I know. And tell everybody the news about A New Horse for America, because I like to make you do that.
No, I don't want to. You can talk about the new American team horse. Yes,
Gunter Siddell got a new horse, and let's see, the horse is named Coral Reef, and it was owned.
It was ridden by Annabelle Balkenhol previously.
Yeah.
And is Grand Prix confirmed, and she's 13, Westphalian mare. They changed the name. It used to be Wincy. I think that's the right pronunciation.
Yeah, I think so too, Wincy.
But Gunther's sponsors bought him this horse, so that is great for America. I'm pleased that continuing success towards I guess the next World Equestrian Games is the next big games, right?
Yeah, I know. I just like to make you talk about the American horses. It makes me happy. Yeah. Well, we have a wonderful interview with London Gray today, right after this break from Kentucky Performance Products.
Choosing a supplement can be confusing. How do you know which ones are right for your horse? Kentucky Performance Products will simplify your search for effective, research-proven supplements that meet the challenges of today's horses. And this week's highlight product is Contribute Omega-3 Fatty Acid Supplement. The properties of omega-3 fatty acids benefit every system in your horse's body. Contribute improves breeding efficiency in mares and stallions, maintains soundness and protects joints from damaging inflammation, sustains a strong immune response in horses of all ages, and decreases the levels of inflammation in your horse's body by sustaining adequate omega-3 fatty acid levels. Learn more about Contribute Omega-3 Fatty Acid Supplement and all the other products at kppusa.com. That's Kentucky Performance Products at kppusa.com.
Well, Lyndon, thank you so much for coming on the show this evening. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. I love doing it.
Well, Lyndon, all the buzz this week here in Wellington has been about the Horsemanship Week that just happened at Global. Can you tell us a little bit about it and what happened and just give us the rundown?
Well, it was our second, and it's actually the culmination of a year of clinics. We call them the Emerging Dressage Athlete Program. And basically, we stole the idea from the U.S. Hunter Jumper Association, which has their Emerging Athlete Program. And but we have to do it a little differently because they're well-funded.
Yeah.
We sort of do it the best we can. And we have young riders apply. Anyone that's 21, under 21, can apply. And there's no level of competition skills. It's really any young riders that are really dedicated and want to learn. And we set up clinics in parts of the country where we have the interest shown. And the clinics this past year were in Massachusetts, New York, Michigan, 2 in Texas, actually 2 in Massachusetts, 2 in Texas, and Illinois. And from those clinics, which have riders from age 11 to 21, from training level to Grand Prix, we choose riders for the sort of the mega clinic, which is the Horsemanship Clinic, and also we invite some of our national and reserve national champions from the Festival of Champions. And they are invited to come to Wellington. Most of them bring their own horses. Those who can't, we had, for example, riders from the West Coast, Washington, California, Arizona. I guess that's not the West Coast quite. And we found horses for them, and one rider from Texas. And the thing that makes these clinics sort of different from your average clinic, whether it's the regular emerging dressage athlete program clinics or the mega clinic, which was the Robert Dover Horsemastership Clinic, is they have the riding lessons like most clinics do, but there are at least two unmounted educational sessions every day as well. And we oversee the stable management, and so we try to give a really well-rounded education to the riders.
Now, Linda, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you if maybe you can describe some of the goals of the clinic and how it's developing in its second year for these riders.
Well, the major goal, one of the major goals of the regular clinics that we hold during the year is to find hidden talent. And that's why there is no requirement as far as, that you have to have gotten certain scores or anything. We even have some kids. I've had one who's never been to a recognized show. And I was thrilled to have found her because she was quite a talented rider and had a perfectly decent horse. And by inviting these people to the clinics, you hope you give them a little boost, a little incentive. Perhaps their parents or their instructor, their own instructor, says, hey, somebody's paying attention to my child or my student, and let's go out and go for it a little bit more. And then the other part of it is there's lots of clinics. I mean, there's clinics everywhere all the time, and clinics with very good people. But the effort, the kids are required to be there the entire day. They watch each other ride. And the unmounted education, trying to get well-rounded riders who can do more than just ride one particular horse in one particular test, but that are developing the knowledge to take care of the horse, have an introduction to sports psychology, nutrition, their own fitness. That is one thing at the mega clinic, the Robert Dover Clinic. Every morning they had a major workout with Robert Dover's personal trainer, and to get an understanding of their own fitness, so to broaden their education more than just riding the horse. And one of the bonuses of it is the camaraderie that comes out of it. These kids are, they become a group as opposed to a whole bunch of individuals. They get to know each other, they get to support each other, and some lasting friendships have come out of it. Kids from different parts of the country that are keeping in touch and going on vacation together even. And that's sort of the extra bonus. So, yes, we want to help riders who are maybe will be going to the Olympics eventually and give them that high level of education, but also give the education for riders who won't have all those opportunities, but can find their way in the dressage world at their level of commitment, financial support, whatever it is. Some people are never going to have that really special horse, but hopefully we'll help them find a way where they can really enjoy and let dressage be part of their lives, and maybe even a profession forever.
Oh, that's wonderful. And then can you tell us a little bit about the Emerging Athlete Program?
Well, that's the Emerging Dressage Athlete Program, because the Emerging Athlete Program is the jumpers. They think they're the only athletes.
They're not.
They're not.
And that is, as I say, anyone can apply. The application is on the Dressage4Kids website. And we choose for the clinics that we set up wherever. We try to choose riders that demonstrate a level of talent, natural talent, as well as a level, not more natural talent even than a high level of training. And from the application, those that, show a level of dedication. And those clinics are held all over the country. And we've actually expanded this year. Nancy Lader, who's becoming in the Northeast, Nancy Lader Lavoie, I believe is her married name now, become a tremendous supporter of the young riders. And she was running a clinic with Conrad Schumacher, of which 2 days was going to be just for youth. And she had set up to have some on-ground educational activities. So we turned that into an emerging dressage athlete program because, we had obviously a top international trainer, but because of the on-the-ground activities, meaning the unmounted activities, and Dressage4Kids helped to pay some of the fee for those who were members of the Emerging Dressage Athlete Program. We paid part of their clinic fee. And again, they were required to watch all the lessons and participate in all of the lectures. And so those clinics, we're holding as many as we can, and I hope we'll be able to do more. I've done all of the emerging dressage athlete clinics so far with help from very good local trainers. Courtney has helped me with some. Suma Cusker, Nancy Later have helped with the teaching so we could bring in more kids. And so we can do as many of those as we find the people who want to run them. We look to help from the local people to help us get lecturers and so forth. So that's the more local clinics that then feed into the mega clinics. And we've had 2 now of the mega clinics, the Robert Dover clinics, that were at this time of year in Wellington, and then we will have one that Courtney Dye will headline at Hassler Dressage at River Edge Farm in Maryland the very beginning of August this summer. That'll be the first summer one we've done.
That's great. And Lyndon, are you seeing an increased participation of youth in dressage, and how do we keep that going?
Definitely an increased number of kids that are participating, and it's hopefully as we give them more support, we give them the education, we give them the acknowledgement in some cases, and then finding a way, as with everything nowadays, to make it affordable for not just those that have the finances behind them, that have the really nice horses, but to find the activities for those that maybe don't have the really super horses at this point in their lives, and that they also can get that education and pay attention to them so that they feel they can be included at their level of expertise and their horse's level of expertise. There's getting to be a greater distance between the average horse and the super horse. And we're seeing more super horses for younger riders, which is wonderful. But we don't want those that can't have the super horses to feel that, well, there's just no point for me to even try because I don't have the super horse. And those are the people that I particularly want to try to keep bringing into the fold, so to speak.
So, Lyndon, how, as a trainer and an aunt now, how would I find some information about where I would send kids that are in my own program?
We have a website, Dressage4Kids.com, and that's the number 4, Dressage, number 4 Kids. And all of our activities are listed there. We have a pretty amazing show in New York in the summer, and we're also now really happy to say finally getting other people to steal the format that I hand to them of our show, which is basically a dressage test, an equitation class, and a written test on assigned reading. Kim Boyer in Michigan has held 2. And whereas the show we do in New York is a huge production, it's really a 3-day extravaganza, Kim's is a little 1-day, 1-ring show. And those are the ones that I'd love to see more of those popping around the country because, again, we try to level the playing field. Yes, the dressage test depends partly on how nice a horse you have, as long as you train it and ride it well. The equitation class is judged on the rider, so the horse doesn't count very much. And, of course, the written test, the horse counts not at all. So we're looking for totally educated rider, not just the dressage rider. We also have clinics just for pony riders, in an effort, I've been pushing hard for years to try to get younger people into dressage and those who want to be serious about dressage and showing ponies. We have various other activities. We have a winter program in Connecticut of 2 days of just lectures for pretty much anyone that's interested in horses, not even just dressage. And we have a very active scholarship program for anyone that has participated in any of our programs. Scholarship for equestrian education, not for showing, except, for example, World Cup or something like that. We do support those. So we have a lot of things going on, and it's all there on our Dressage4Kids website.
Lyndon, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight and all that you do for kids. It's amazing, and I hope everyone will go to the website and get some more information, and I know you'll be right there to help them.
Thank you. Happy to chat with anyone or email with anyone that has questions.
Well, that was a great interview, and we're going to continue to learn about the Robert Dover Horsemastership Week with an interview with Rosie Simoes right after this commercial from Equestrian Collections.
Hi, Glenn Geek here, and I am with Debbie from Equestrian Collections with the Equestrian Collections Product of the Week. And we're going medical this week, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I wanted to feature the Vetricin Wound and Infection Hydrogel. All of this Vetricin stuff is really good. It's amazing. And not only do I know that it works, but all of my Facebook friends go nuts over this stuff. And the reason I'm featuring the hydrogel this week is because it has a different thing going for it that some other ones of these don't. It's expensive, but it's worth it. This hydrogel stuff, you spray it on like it was liquid, and it comes out like a liquid. But when it comes out, it's a very light gel, so that when you put it in the wound, it actually sticks to the wound. It doesn't like drip down. So if you have a wound that's up underneath or one that's hard to get to, you can use this and you can get a really good covering of the wound with the hydrogel. I have not had anyone who I have heard that has used this that hasn't come back and said, oh my goodness, this is the best thing ever. You can use this on all your furry friends and feathered friends. You can use it on horses, dogs, cats, birds. It's just amazing, and it's clean stuff. I would highly recommend it. Give it a try.
And I know the one nice thing about the Vetricin is that you can use it in areas that are flexible, your joints and ankles and knees and things like that, and it provides that extra barrier even for flies and things as well, too.
Yeah, you know what? I had exactly that. I had a little cut on my mare's on the inside of her hock, and every time she would walk, she would pull that thing open, and I got this stuff and used it, and within just a week, it was healed. I can't say enough about it. I would definitely try it. Keep it in your tack room. Keep it in your first aid kit when you're on the road as well.
Just go to equestriancollections.com and search for Hydrogel, Hydrogel, and you'll find the Vetricin Wound and Infection Hydrogel, and you can pick up a bottle of it there.
Rosie, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are wonderful. Rosie and I actually met each other this summer at the Young Rider Championship. She was a hard worker bee. So I was so excited to hear that you were invited and rode at the Dover Horsemanship Clinic that happened in Wellington this week. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it was definitely a super fun week, and I was just really honored to be chosen to be there. And I really can't thank London and everyone who worked so hard for us. So every day we would wake up early and go to the barn about 6:30 just to take care of our horses, walk them around, clean the stalls, feed them. And then promptly at 7, we would go to the outdoor arena or the covered arena and work out with Bob, who's Robert's personal trainer, Robert Dover. And that was really great because Bob really kicked our butts and really made us realize how hard our horses work for us and how it feels to be sore sometimes. And we did a lot of like squat jumps and running backwards, even carrying chairs over our heads. It got a little intense sometimes, but it was good to really push ourselves and see what we could do, not only as riders, but as athletes as well. And then after our workout at 7, we would start our lessons, and there would be 2 instructors for the day, and there's 12 riders total. So 6 would ride with one instructor and 6 would ride with the other. And then there was 9 auditors that would go from each instructor and watch to see how the teaching styles and watch the different riders. And it was a fun, not only to ride, but to get to watch different people ride and to get to watch the different instructors teach, because it was great for me, because in the future I want to be a trainer and a rider, so I could get to watch and see how they taught, so I could get like input on like how people teach. And so like day 1 we had Tina Konyat, we had Toonie Page. On day 2, Robert Dover was teaching with Jan Ebling, I believe. We had Courtney King-Dye. And on the last day, which was awesome, we had Robert Dover warmed us up for a test that we chose with our horse. And then once we warmed up, we would go over like it was a horse show, and we got to have Ann Gribbons judge our tests. And then we got immediate feedback from her. And what was really great about that, too, was that the auditors and the riders could either go watch Robert and help Robert warm up the riders, or they could go in with Anne and listen to her feedback and help actually judge the test. So it was a really great week for, like, information and for meeting new people from around the country.
That sounds really fun. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, and maybe about your horse and about your riding, and kind of, what motivates you as a young rider to be in the sport and to participate?
Yeah, I've been riding practically since I was in the womb. My mom is a horse trainer, Julie Julian. So I officially started riding when I was 3 on a little Shetland pony named Spanky. And I wasn't really a naturally gifted rider. I held my reins wrong forever. I didn't canter until I was 8 years old because I was terrified. But I knew that I loved the horses, so I really stuck with it. We'd always go to horse shows with my mom and all of her clients just to hang out and have fun, and I would volunteer as a runner. So it grew on me, and eventually I realized that this is something I could do with my life, and I could really, I could be good at it if I applied myself. So I started to ride. Well, I rode every single day, but I started to take riding more seriously as I got older, and I moved on to some bigger ponies along the way. And the first time that I really felt like, wow, I could do this was in 2006 when I was 10 on my little pony major, and I won my first regional championships with the freestyle. And that was just the biggest moment for me, because I remember when I was little, if I got a 60%, that was awesome. That was amazing. And if I got a ribbon, I was like, this is something to really be proud of. So when I won that championship, it was huge. And after that, I really started to realize that riding was something that's always going to be important to me. And now I have Proteus, who is an 8-year-old Danish warmblood, and we've had him since he was 2, turning 3. And I've been a part of his training along the way. My mom's done the training with him. And now he's pre-St. George schooling some of the Grand Prix work. And so it's really fun to be able not only to have, a great horse who we really connect with, but that my mom and I have trained ourselves, and that he's ours and no one can ever take him away from us. So that's cool, because, I'm going to be able to do young riders with him and Patina Cup with him. And one thing I've really learned, along the way with my mom and different instructors I've talked to, is it's better to just buy a young horse that's more affordable and then train them so that no one you can't have it taken away from you, number one, but also you can really do what you want, do the shows that you want, and develop your name not only as a rider but as someone who can train a horse.
everyone is talking about that in the United States on how can we make the right horses. So, Rosie, what are you planning on doing in the future?
So for 2013, I plan on trying to qualify to go to the North American Junior Young Rider Championships as a young rider with Proteus. And on top of that, I have a 4-year-old, so he's also a Danish warm blood, and I've been working with him with my mom and with my other trainer, Christine Traurig. So he's coming along, and I hope to be showing him as well eventually. But in the long run, I just really want to be able to train as many horses as I can to the upper levels and to Grand Prix, and hopefully eventually be able to compete internationally with one of my horses, hopefully Proteus, but you never know where you're going to go, so I'm just hoping to keep training and riding.
And what things from the last week's clinic really, are you taking forward with you to help you on all your goals?
Really, I think last week's clinic was just a big confidence booster for me. It was really like going in, I was a little bit nervous about riding with all these top trainers, but they really did a good job of letting all the riders know, like, how good we are. We obviously got there, so we must be doing something right. And so it was really just a big confidence booster to be able to ride with all these different people and have it go well and really learn a ton from it. And I'd have to say, like, the best part of the week was really the riding for me, but the lectures were also really good that we got to go to. And I took a lot away from, like, connecting the riding with what other people had to say, too, in the lectures. So that was great.
And Rosie, what were the lectures about?
We had a lecture. We had many lectures. We had some every single day. We had one from Dr. Rick Bennett about proper veterinary care and preventative medicine, so we could keep our horses sound and happy and not have to always wait till something goes wrong to fix them, how there's many different ways to, like, prevent anything from going wrong and keeping your horse healthy and happy. We talked to Dean Pearson, who is a farrier, and that was great, too. It kind of went along with Dr. Mitchell with if there's no foot, there's no horse. So you really have to stay on top of maintaining your horse's feet and how important it is to shoe your horse regularly or get them trimmed regularly. We also had some great lectures from Dr. Deb Bennett, who talked to us about collection and deep straightening of the horse. So it was really interesting to hear her. She talked a lot about collection with, like, the loins with coil on the horse, and then to get the back up, and then you have to raise the base of the pole. So all of it was really informative, and it was a nice connection to see, like, we are not only, like, feeling it with our horses, but we can also see it with these lectures and presentations.
Well, I want to go to the camp next year.
Yeah, how do we get invited? How do I get younger?
Get invited. I know. We need to be younger, Philip.
Yeah,
well,
let's
Rosie,
work on that.
Thanks so much for coming on the show, and I hope you will stay in touch with us here at the Horse Radio Network on how your journey this year goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, guys, that was a great show, and I wish I was not turning 33 this week. I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Man, I didn't even know about that.
I know. Yeah, I was going to keep it quiet, but then I really wanted to go back to Young Rider Camp, and that wasn't going to happen for me. Let's just face it.
I know this program sounds so amazing that London is doing and is involved with. I mean, they didn't have any of that stuff, when I was a bit younger. But
you were a babe.
Yeah, but that's great. That's going on, and well, happy birthday to you. You can't go back in time. It's all good stuff ahead, right? We're gonna have
exactly.
adult. We're gonna have adult clinic.
I'm a babe.
Yeah, we'll organize our own thing.
So I'm dying to know, though, what are your guys' New Year's resolutions?
Glenn, you can go over.
I was going to give it to you first.
Come on, boys.
Really didn't. I gave up when you turned 50. Actually, when I turned about 20, I gave up on New Year's resolutions. I'm not good at keeping them. So it was like, at some point in your life, you go, I'm not going to keep them anyway, so I'm not going to bother. Is that a defeatist attitude, or is that just realism?
Yeah,
I think that's realism.
I think that's very defeatist. You got to at least, pretend. You put on the facade that something's gonna get better. Or
But shouldn't you try and do that all the time, not just at the beginning of the year?
I think that's it. Let's try to make that the resolution then.
I like it. Well, I keep
all
the
the
same
time.
resolution.
Yeah.
I have the same resolution I've had every year for the last, 5-6 years. And that is to be on time / early for everything. I figure until I can actually do it, I shouldn't change my resolution.
Just keep practicing.
You work on that there, Reese.
I'm working on it. Oh, gosh.
A life with horses, it just can't because they dictate your schedule so much.
When we used to get together with Reese on a regular basis when we lived in Lexington, Jennifer and I would joke. We would say, okay, we're supposed to be there at 6, but 6:15 will be fine.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah.
Right.
Those are my actual friends. They really know that about me. I'm working on it every year. Philip, you have skirted the question so far.
I know with that conversation with going there, I think that's what I'm going to work on. Just being positive all the time and continue to work on that.
I said it as an out, Philip.
I know, but I like the out.
Yeah, it's pretty good though.
Thank you for participating well, Philip. Glenn.
Hey guys, I have something fun on the Horse Radio Network I have to tell you about.
Okay.
What?
Tell us about the news about the Horse Radio Network.
Well, if anybody's a fan of Ice Road Truckers, we had a celebrity guest on one of the shows this week on the driving radio show with Wendy and I. I got this Facebook request a couple weeks ago from Lisa Marie Kelly, who is the girl on Ice Road Truckers. And anybody that's watched Ice Road Truckers through the years, she's the only female that's been on that show. And, of course, that's the show where they're driving the trucks on that crazy ice road up there in Alaska. It's just crazy stuff. And in blizzards and minus 40 degrees and all that stuff. And then she actually went on to do the world's deadliest roads and drove the deadliest road in the world in a truck in South America.
I think that's in Peru or something.
Yeah, it was in Peru and Bolivia. You're right. Yeah.
OMG.
And
it's on the side. Yeah, it's on the side of a mountain.
Yeah, it was awful.
My
I mean, with
God.
10,000-foot drops and her truck's tires are at the edge.
Oh,
On dirt roads.
I'm dying
but
here.
she contacted us and said, I want to let you guys know I love your shows, and I listen all the time while I'm driving the ice road. So I was
She's a horse person, obviously, then, right?
Yeah, she actually has horses in Alaska, and she's learning to drive, so she listens to driving radio show, loves Wendy. And so we had her on the show this week.
Did you tell her how good the dressage radio show is?
Yes, we want her to be a fan of our show, too.
Yeah.
She has a horse husband who's also a motocross racer. He races motorcycles. And they both listen to the shows. He likes the shows, too. And she came on the show, and she said, I'm a big fan. I listen to the podcast all the time while I'm driving.
Cool.
So that was kind of neat.
Cool.
You never know who's listening.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate all of our listeners, and we can't wait for an awesome 2013.
It sounds good. Yeah.
Well, everybody, you can find our show notes and links to today's guests on our website at dressageradio.com. You can like us on Facebook. Just search Dressage Radio Show. You can follow us on Twitter at Horse Radio. My website is maplecrestfarmky.com. My email is reese@horseradionetwork.com. And if you are in Florida, South Florida, give me a call or email me because I'd love to meet you guys.
And you can find me at philipparksequestrian.com. And my email is philip@horseradionetwork.com. Keep your emails coming. We like to talk about training stuff or tack or anything you guys want to talk about. We can bring it on the show. And I'd like to thank our sponsors, Equestrian Collections and Kentucky Performance Products. And don't forget to check out all the other shows because they're really great at the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com.
Keep your heels down and your shoulders back, and we'll talk to you soon.